My guy, how we doing?
Doing good.
Lot to talk
Uh,
about today.
yeah,
Was a
yeah.
so
We got the All-Star game coming up, so can't wait for that.
Now, did you watch the Subway Series?
Oh yeah. Unfortunately,
It was a see. We're by the time we release this, it's Thursday, so like I'm not going to dwell
yeah.
on too much, but like, damn,
I'm just glad we at least got a win because,
you salvaged the nightcap. That's fair.
um, yeah, it sucked though. Like I hate doubleheaders with the 7 inning thing, so I was kind
I
of
was gonna
pissed off
ask what
that the
your
game on
feeling was
Friday
on
got
that.
canceled. Yeah, but it was some fucking brutal rain here in New York on like Friday and Saturday, so we were
Yeah,
kind of lucky that we got to play on Saturday because it was raining like that night here. So,
no,
but
honestly, I also thought
yeah,
it was kind of funny. Right after Chapman blows it, he's announced as an All Star. I was
yeah,
like,
I know.
no, that's how it would happen. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's the way our season's been going. So
no, it happens.
yeah.
What was what was the favorite thing you saw this week?
So I actually saw yesterday that the Giants unveiled their City Connect uniforms. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw them yet. They're my favorite so far. I think they're pretty cool.
I'm kind of torn on them. I like the
Yeah,
idea with like the fog and
yeah,
the bridge on the sleeves. That's kind of cool. I don't know. I
yeah,
feel like the actual design itself probably could have been a little better, but like it's kind of cool.
yeah. I mean, like I like the bright orange because like that kind of pops, and like they
Yeah,
don't usually wear all white like that. It's usually like their home unis are like cream white, right? Like they're not like
yeah.
that white. So I think that was cool. The sleeves are cool with the bridge. Like I don't know, I like it, but I mean it's better than the Cubs ones.
Cubs ones suck.
Those were horrible. So
I
I
think my
think
favorite still might be the White Sox, but there have been some good
yeah,
ones. I
yeah, I
like the
like the D
Nike ones.
backs too, but
Yeah, true,
they're
true,
they're
true.
all cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I think they're wearing them this upcoming weekend. So
Okay.
I think the weekend before the All Star game is when they're wearing them. So
Got you,
it'll be pretty
got you.
cool. What about you?
So for me, it was Brett Phillips coming out of the bullpen.
Oh yeah,
Or I'm not even gonna just I feel like for anyone who hasn't seen it, they should just look it up because I'm not gonna do it justice. But he was having such a good time. He was all in.
yeah.
And he I don't know, he freaking comes out throwing 90 and then the next pitch is like 50. So it
Dude,
was a
that man is an enigma, man. He's like such a special part of baseball right now because like I mean the plane thing that he did in the playoffs last year. So many people do that.
dude.
Like he's just awesome, man. I saw a little bit of that. He kind of like fucking fucked around with his wind up a lot too. It was so
Bro,
funny.
we need more of that. We need more of the chaos.
And he like whipped one in there at like 94, and like everyone was just like going crazy. It was like so funny.
No, I couldn't say I was
Yeah,
expecting that, but no, I love it. I mean, anytime a position player comes out, it's great, but that was by far
yeah,
my favorite.
yeah,
So I want to do a little bit of an all-star preview because this is be the last episode we drop before
yeah.
next Tuesday. So the selections are released, and yeah, we go through some of them, but yeah, give me your initial thoughts. What you thought?
Well, I think like there's, we'll start with the NL here. I think Buster Posey was interesting because he sat out last year. He was kind of on the decline a little bit. Everybody thought. Now he's
Yeah.
starting at catcher, so I think that one's pretty cool. I think another cool story is Adam Frazier. We're gonna get into him a little bit later on with some other things, but
Mm,
he's been solid this year for a Pittsburgh team that just has not been good.
yeah.
And two starting outfielders are from the Reds and Winker and Castellanos. That's pretty cool too.
Mm, yeah.
And the pitchers, like obviously Degrom's in there. I'm assuming he's going to start the game, but we don't know yet. Um,
I
I mean,
think, dude, I think the NL pitchers are way better than the AL pitchers here.
oh yeah,
I mean, no disrespect to like Nate Eovaldi, but I don't know why he's in that game.
yeah. I mean, he's had a good year, but like not great. Like I think there's probably some guys that have been better.
Yeah, but I mean, if you
You
look
know,
at the NL, it's Burns, Darvish, Degrom, Gossman, Marquez, Rogers, Wheeler, Woodruff. Like
yeah,
that's freaking stacked, and that's like
yeah,
also my boy Taiwan Walker got robbed, but won't get
oh
into that.
yeah,
Okay,
dude. I know
but yeah,
he's
no,
been
I
having a
mean,
great year.
yeah, but that's to show you how good the rest of the NL's been that he couldn't
Yeah,
make it. But
yeah. Obviously, too, we're gonna see some other guys get announced soon because of the
true.
guys that are injured. Like Schwarber is an all-star, but obviously we're gonna get into that injury a little bit later. But that
Hmm.
sucks. But someone else is obviously gonna take his place on the roster. So it could. I believe it doesn't have to be a guy of the same position. I believe it can be like
Yeah.
whoever was next in line, kind of. So
Hmm.
it could be Walker. You never know.
Yeah.
Uh,
True. I mean, yeah.
I
A
think in
couple.
the
Go
in the
ahead.
NL, I think it was interesting too. That like a team as bad as Pittsburgh has two All Stars because
I
Brian
noticed
Reynolds
that.
also made the
Yeah.
team, so that was kind of interesting to me too.
Yeah. No,
Um,
good for them.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, so Red Sox had the most total with three
yeah,
position, two pitchers. Blue
yeah,
Jays have three position players starting with Guerrero, Teoscar, and Semien.
yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole infield is Blue Jays, Red Sox, except for catcher.
Oh,
So
true. I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
that's kind of funny. And yeah, obviously, again with the injury thing, Mike Trout is obviously not going to play either. So someone else will be starting in center field. Um, I think Shohei Ohtani is obviously the biggest storyline, though. It's got to be.
Yeah.
He's first player in MLB history to make an All-Star team as a hitter and pitcher. Yesterday, Joe Madden confirmed that he's going to do both in the game, which is awesome. Um,
Absolutely.
and he's doing the Derby. I mean, what else could you want? This is going to
Okay,
be so awesome.
the only little thing I'll say, let's be like a party pooper, I really don't want him to get overworked because, like,
No, I know.
I was already worried about his workload if you're pitching and hitting, obviously. But now to do the
Yeah,
Derby, to pitch, and then to hit, and on like a week that's typically supposed to be kind of a rest.
right, right.
I mean, dude, it's gonna be great. I really hope he can stay on the field in the second half because I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
I do too. I mean, I just feel like man, there's just something going on with him. He's having a special year, and I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it changing. But
Yeah,
um, another interesting part about this is that there are three players from the Rangers, and they suck.
are there
Kyle
actually
Gibson,
three?
Joey Gallo, and Adolis Garcia, who might win Rookie of the Year. So
I mean,
isn't that crazy? Yeah,
they're all pretty.
like
Gibson's been unbelievable, actually. He's probably
he's been nuts,
maybe been the
bro.
best guy in the
Dude,
AL.
I mean, he could end up starting the game. Like Gibson's ERA, I think, leads to the AL. So obviously, like Cole leads it in strikeouts. Lance Lynn's been really good. Bieber's been awesome, but like you never know. And I think like there's only one Minnesota Twin on there. No one would have guessed that when the season started, and that is
That's
Nelson
true.
Cruz.
That's true.
Obviously, Nelson Cruz would be the best bet, but like you would have thought that there would be a few other guys. So that's kind of strange.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I'm going to shout out to Cedric Mullins too. We talked about him last week, and he made the team. So
yeah.
that's pretty
Well
cool.
deserved. Well
Yeah.
deserved.
Mhm.
Where's John Means? He wasn't picked?
I think like he's been hurt for like a few weeks now, so maybe that's why. But like,
I guess, but
I
like,
thought he was definitely going to be the guy representing Baltimore. Obviously, Cedric Mullins has been great too, but like, I thought Means would be on there too. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I think
hmm.
like we talked about Chapman though. Like he's been good this year. All-Star? I mean, I don't know about that.
Well, I
No
mean, the
offense
last
to
week
him.
has been a disaster. Other than that, he
I
has
know.
been.
He was good. And like he's got the splitter this year. He's been better. But um I think there's a name on there that probably not many people know, and it's Gregory Soto on the Tigers. He's the only Detroit Tiger on there. And
Mm,
I didn't even know who he was when we were talking about this. And I
no.
mean, I get on a team like Detroit, you kind of just gotta pick somebody. Like they're not good, obviously. I think in the beginning of the year we would have thought it would have been Akil Badu, but
Yeah.
he's kind of slowed down a little bit. So
Maybe Scope. I feel like Jonathan Scope has had a
yeah,
decent year. Huh. Yeah,
yeah, I'm
I guess
trying
you
to
gotta pick
remember.
someone.
Yeah, so but I think it's interesting too that this is Mike Trout being voted a starting All Star and he's injured. Like you know what I mean? Like that just
Yeah,
shows how much people like want him to be in the game and stuff and appreciate him. But like
it's a shame.
give
I mean,
another
no, it's
guy a
great. It's
chance. Like
great. But
obviously, like I'll be honest with you, Trout's only played 36 games this year. I don't think he's an all-star, to be honest with you. And like I know that it's a fan vote and everything, so like that kind of skews it because like I feel like if they did it a different way, like he wouldn't have been an all-star because like he doesn't have the workload. You know what I mean?
I guess it's just like it's hard because then if he's not, then you look back on like his career And you're like,
exactly. I know.
he wasn't an all-star in 2021. That implies like he wasn't as good. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, it just
I
sucks. Like, the
do.
only reason he wouldn't be there is because he was hurt. Like, it kind of
Yeah,
leaves like a stain. But
because like it's not like he was bad either. Like when he was
no,
playing
yeah,
great. I think he was hitting like 333, 18, 8 homer, whatever. I don't know what it was, but he was playing pretty well. But like, who do you think besides like Taiwan Walker, let's say, was snubbed of a spot so far? They could get plugged in as an injured reserve, but like right now,
I mean, Walker Bueller maybe.
that was one that I saw too. That was very
Yeah,
interesting to me. I also thought Max Scherzer should have been an all-star. He was
yeah.
been he's been great. I mean,
Maybe like a week ago it would have said Bauer, but I don't know.
yeah, I mean, yeah. He was having a great season. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen, everything now with him. But
Yeah,
I think there were some other guys uh, like Trevor Story could have been, but I think he was hurt for a while too. So
okay,
I don't know. But he is doing the Derby, so he'll still be there. It'll be cool to see him in Colorado for the Derby and stuff. But
yeah.
I think that also there could be again. I don't see any huge trades happening in the next week, but it's funny that like guys could show up and be all stars and be on a different team by the time the game starts.
That's true. I think that's
Like,
happened like a couple times in the last
yeah,
few
I think it
years.
happened to like Jeff Samardzija once. I remember when he got
Yeah,
traded to
yeah,
Oakland. But like a guy we talked about a couple weeks ago in trade talks was Eduardo Escobar. He made the All Star
mm,
team for the D-backs. He could
yeah,
easily be on a different team come next Tuesday.
yeah.
So
True.
that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
So
you mentioned the Derby. We have since the last time we recorded, we have one more person who's been added, Salvador Perez, who
yeah,
has 20. So he's like, I feel like
yeah.
that's a decent selection.
I mean, I like it. I mean, like
Yeah,
everybody loves Salvador Perez. So like I think he'll
yeah,
bring a lot of energy to it too. And so far that's the second most homers in the Derby. Otani has fucking 31, which is unbelievable. But
yeah.
yeah, so then we got Alonso and Mancini. They each have 15. And right
Hmm.
now Story has 11. So I mean, who do you think the final three are going to be? Any
Yeah,
guys that pop into your head?
I remember we like talked about this a little bit last week. I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking Acuna would be up
Yeah.
there. Ah, man, Adolis Garcia, like at least he got off to a
Yeah.
good start. I don't know if he's
I
kept
mean,
it up as
yeah,
much, but
I'm thinking like another Texas. Like I'm thinking Joey Gallo, man. I
Gallo,
think Joey Gallo's got to do it. I mean, have you been seeing him the past like 2 weeks? By the way, Gallo's been going off, man. Like he's on my fantasy team, and I think like he hit 7 homers in the span of like 5 days or something crazy. It was
man.
like nuts. And I think
Also
right
robbed a homer
now,
yesterday on the
yeah,
first pitch
yeah,
of the game.
yeah, he's low key really good at defense too. Most people don't realize that, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think like not that it can't be guys that are not all stars, but I like it better kind of when the guys in the Derby are all stars. Like I think
Yeah.
Matt Olson. Like I said, Matt Olson last week. I think that would be a
True. Matt
cool one.
Olson.
I
Yeah.
think Max Muncy would be cool.
I was
That's
thinking that
yeah,
was in the pop of my head too.
yeah,
Who
um,
also probably should be starting at first. I don't know why he's not. He's definitely had a better season than Freeman, but it is
yeah,
what it is.
yeah. See, that's again issues with like the fan voting is like
Uh-huh.
that. So, but listen, I don't really think the guys care that much about starting it or being in it. I think if you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I would love to see Judge or Stanton do it, but I feel like if they were going to do it, they would have said it by now.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And they've had their track
so
records of doing it. So like, yeah.
yeah, they may want to just like chill out. I feel like Judge, especially because like I don't think they want to fucking hurt themselves in Colorado. Their injury history. I
Uh-huh.
think Judge is going to kind of take it easy out there,
Yeah. No,
and
definitely.
not even really run around in the outfield. So, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right, get into who's hot, who's not. Who you got for hot?
Uh, so hot, I got Ozzy Albies. May have gotten snubbed for the starting spot on the All-Star game. I don't know. Frazier,
Yeah.
like we said, though, is having a good season. But yeah, like the past 7 games Albies has played, he's hitting 357, 3 homers, 13 RBIs, 1.167 OPS, and he's got 3 stolen bases. So he's probably been the MVP on the Braves this year. I've been saying. Acuna's been
Yeah.
good, but I think Ozzy's really come into his own this year, and it's good that he's an all-star. So that's what I got.
Yeah, bouncing back from last. I mean, not his. I don't think last year was bad, but I think he's been
Yeah,
better this year. So
yeah,
for me, yeah, like I said, I don't like to overhype this guy, but I feel like I gotta go with Otani. He has 5 homers in his last 5 games. His slugging is 1250. Like not his OPS, his slugging is 1250. Like we said, leading the league in home runs. So I feel like I would be remiss to not pick him.
yeah. I mean, what can you say negatively about Otani? Like, he's just unbelievable. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So for guys struggling, I got to go with my guy Luke Voigt. Um, last 7 games, he's hitting 136, 0 homers, 1 RBI, 436 OPS. I mean, like, we're in a downfall right now, and we do not need these numbers from a guy like Voigt. So
I think it's just hard. Like he came into the season so late already, then
I
gets
know.
hurt again. I feel like to just get into like a swing of things is hard, and when you're in freaking July.
Yeah. I mean,
So
in my opinion, like, he's because of that, he's like stressed. He's like pushing too hard to try to do it, and like he's pressing, and that's why he's not doing good. But
yeah,
he also doesn't really have time to sit back and relax. It's not like we have a 10 game lead and we're in first place. So,
no,
um, yeah.
no,
So
they need
hopefully he picks it
juice.
up, man. He's got to do something. That's who I got there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Cody Bellinger. One for his last 19, no homers, no RBIs, 170 OPS. So yeah,
170. Wow.
I guess he's streaky. I guess you can call him that.
I'd
Um,
call him streaky, I think. But
yeah, I mean, Moki's starting to heat up a little bit for them, but yeah, no, there's Muncie's
I
obviously been
mean,
producing, but
at this point, the Giants are still in first. So if the Dodgers want to do what they're supposed to do, they need Bellinger to bounce back a little bit. So
yeah, no,
and
agreed.
we expect that to happen too. It's like everyone expects it. It'll happen. It'll come. So
Former MVP, yeah, no,
yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
All right, get into a little bit of what it seems and not what it seems. First guy I want to talk a little bit about is Jorge Soler. So his last full season, had 265, 48 home runs, 117 RBIs, 922 OPS, played every single game. Actually led the league in home runs and strikeouts that year. I did not know that before reading it. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
that's like our game today. You know what I mean? So
No, it's like the Adam Dunn type season. But
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, regardless, like 48 was unbelievable from a
it's a
guy that,
successful season. Like yeah,
yeah. And then this year, 186, 6 homers, 29 RBIs, 594 OPS. So before 2019, he never played more than 101 games in a season due to injuries. But I mean, clearly just not been who he was 2 years ago. So I'm curious what you think of him and what type of player he actually is.
Yeah, I mean, he's such an interesting case to me because, like you said, he has never played more than 101 games, except for that season where he played every game, actually, too.
Hmm,
Um, but obviously, when he moved from the Cubs to the Royals, he moved to the DH spot, so that probably helped him to
true.
play some more games. I mean, it's just hard to know who he is because he got hurt so many times. Like, I think before the 101 game season, he had never played more than like 40 something games in a season or something crazy like that. So, I mean, I don't think he's necessarily the player he was in 2019, but I think he's like a solid, like, let's say he hits 250, 30 something homers, and like close to 100 RBIs. I think makes sense for him if he's healthy. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to stay on the field. That's it. I mean, you got to stay healthy, man. So
Has he been hurt this year? If we might
he,
have said that.
so see, no, he has not been hurt this year. So
Gotcha.
that's also something that's very interesting. Obviously, he's probably had some off days because he's been struggling. I just I saw something the other day, like something that I think makes it seem like he's more so the guy from 2019 than this year. His hard hit rate is among the highest in baseball.
Hmm.
So he's like barreling balls. He's just hitting it right at people.
Yeah.
So I think we've seen this before. Like I think this happened with Gary Sanchez last year. It happens to guys and it makes them seem way worse than they actually are. But you need to see results, plain and simple. So
Yeah.
you know, you don't get paid for hitting the ball hard and hitting it into outs. So
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean that's an
yeah,
encouraging stat. I'd rather have someone do that than bat like 290 and like
yeah,
get like I don't know cheap hits every time. But
yeah,
yeah, I guess yeah, I guess I agree. He's probably like an average, like a 25, 30 homer guy.
yeah.
I'd be curious if Kansas City was to move him to a playoff contender, could that little change of scenery help him out a little bit too?
I mean, I definitely think so. I remember like when he first got called up with the Cubs, he played in those years with the playoffs with them, and like he
Yeah.
was solid. Like he played very well in the playoffs. He has good playoff numbers. I mean, also he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves for the outfield. I don't know, maybe like range wise, he's not great, but man, if you see him throw the ball, he has a great arm, very accurate too.
Yeah.
Um, so like if a team trades for him, it doesn't just have to be an AL team for him to DH. Like he can play the outfield pretty well. He made
Hmm.
a great throw against us in New York a couple weeks ago to get someone at third from right field, and it was a good play. So it's interesting. I don't know.
Wonder if like San Francisco could be a spot. I don't know.
Possible. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
I'm picturing their outfield's not super impressive other than like
yeah.
Yastrzemski. So
Yeah, I mean, we talked about maybe Schwarber getting traded over there to play the outfield, I think a couple episodes ago. So Lair
yeah.
would make sense because he is a free agent after the year. So,
Okay. Yeah.
and like, let's say he does get traded, if he has a big second half and a big playoff run, that could help his contract too, like
Yeah.
wherever he goes next year. So, I think he's still only like 27 or 28 years old too.
Hmm.
He's not like super old. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. I just like his season in 2019 was like so special. I feel like that's kind of the high that we're going to see from him. But I
Yeah.
think he's still a pretty solid player. So
Yeah. I mean, so again to another guy who's very similar, not just because he played on the same team, but just like a similar sort of story so far is Ian Happ. So his average 162 game numbers, 237, 26 homers, 70 RBIs, 793 OPS. So like pretty like above average. This year, been 183, 9 homers, 21 RBIs, 631 OPS. And again, same thing. Having struggling to stay on the field. He's only played over 140 games once. So I mean, on a team that's kind of in the free fall in the Cubs, who are trying to contend though. Like they were in first place, it feels like 5 minutes ago.
uh,
I mean, so curious your thoughts on him.
yeah, I mean, like Ian Happ's interesting. He's never really had the average like ever, but
Yeah.
how much do you really look at batting average nowadays? Like, if his
Mm.
OPS is solid, it doesn't really matter what his batting average is. You remembered, man, Joe Madden when he was there was hitting them lead off consistently, no matter what his average was. So,
Yeah.
and like his average OPS is 793. That's above average. That's solid for a center fielder too. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mike Trout doesn't get in the same category as other center fielders. For a normal center fielder, that's probably pretty good. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, the Cubs have lost 10 straight at the time we're recording. Um, obviously, Ian Happ's kind of been a big reason why. um,
Mm.
I mean, last year I think he finished in the top 20 MVP. Look at that as you want, but he was kind of a
Yeah.
big reason why the Cubs made the playoffs last year because they were not very good last year, and then the Marlins beat them last year in the first round. So like they were really not doing good, and like I think a couple weeks ago we were talking about how the Cubs could actually not be selling if they don't pick it up, and if Ian Happ doesn't pick it up, he might even be traded out of there. So, yeah, I mean, like right now the Cubs are in third place, 1.5 games behind the Reds and 8.5 behind the Brewers. So that's I don't know, man. It's not looking good out
Who
there,
would
and I don't.
no, I'm just curious, like who would you prefer on your team right now, Soler or Hap, if you had to pick?
I would prefer Soler because of the higher ceiling for power, but
Yeah.
I mean, what about you?
I would agree. Yeah, because I think his ceiling is higher than Hap,
Yeah,
and their floors are about the same.
like I also don't think Hap is like this 183 hitter. I think he's about a 230 something hitter, but like
Yeah.
his like the RBI totals aren't even there this year. That's the weird part. I know he does hit leadoff sometimes, but like I don't know. He's a switch hitter, so I would be interested to see if his splits are different than this. Like if one is way worse than the other, and that's kind of bringing it down. I don't really know what the case
Yeah.
is with that, but I don't know. He's got to stay healthy though, man. Like that one year he played 140 games. I think he hit like 30 something homers, almost drove in like 90 something runs.
Yeah.
Um, I think this year again, he's another guy though. Like he hasn't been hurt this year that I know of. So that's like interesting. Like we say injuries have been issues for him and Soler, but like not this year, and they're having
Not
bad
yeah, not right
seasons.
now. So
So yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is who he is, but I don't think he's like unless he stays healthy, he's not going to be the guy who hits 30 something homers either. So
yeah, I
yeah,
feel that. And then sticking in the NL Central for our last part of the segment, St. Louis Cardinals are 41 and 44, 10 games behind the Brewers right now. They're in fourth place. So a few things for that. They really need starting pitching because Flaherty and Mikolas are both on the 60-day IL. I mean, Wainwright and Kim, ERA under 4, so they've been decent. Goldschmidt's underperformed. Uh, yeah, offense has not really clicked. So, do you think they make a run at the Central? Because otherwise, they're not getting in. Like they're not
and
getting a wild card. So, do you think they make a run at the Central, or are they just done?
I, in my opinion, they're done, man. I mean, I hate to say it this early, but listen, I mean, like Flaherty and Michaelis, I don't know when they're coming back, but like 60-day for the two top starters,
Yeah,
that's problematic to say the least. Um, I mean, dude, their starting pitching ERA is 4.58. Like you said, Wainwright and Kim, they're the only two guys on the starting staff that have an ERA under 4. I believe Carlos Martinez has an ERA above 7.
yeah,
I think they have a rookie who's pitching who has an ERA above 5. Like it's not very good. I think like one of the most interesting parts of this is Paul Goldschmidt. Um, he has an OPS of 745, which is the worst of his career. He's never had an OPS below 800 in his career.
mm,
So that's that kind of glares you right in the
interesting.
face. I mean, dude, if you just look at their entire infield, besides Arenado, obviously he's an all-star. DeYoung is batting 176 with a 630 OPS, and Tommy Edman has an OPS of 683. So that means that 3 of the Cardinals infielders have an OPS that doesn't start with point 0.8. Arenado's the only
Mm,
one. That's an issue. Like any way you look at it, you can't have that and then have so many issues with your starting pitchers too. So
yeah, if it wasn't for
I
the
don't know.
Arenado trade, I think they'd be far worse off. But I guess he's keeping them afloat.
Yeah, he's trying, but I don't know. What do you think about him? Do you think they're done?
Yeah, I do because I don't. I like Milwaukee. I don't think.
Yeah,
I
no, me
just
too.
think. I just think they're deeper. The starting pitching's been way better. They've been healthier, obviously.
Yeah,
Um, I don't. Yeah, I don't see how they would catch them. Even like I don't know. I almost like Cincinnati more. I Cincinnati. I feel like
yeah.
with Castellanos
I
and Winker and the pitching has been better recently.
I agree. I think Cincinnati is a better team than St. Louis right now. Um, I mean, I think even although the Cubs are downfalling, like I believe the Cubs are a better team than the Cardinals right now. Obviously, if they trade everybody, that's no longer the case. But like, I think right
Yeah.
now the Cubs are better because they have better starting pitching too. Like the Cardinals starting pitching, you just like Wainwright is 39 years old. He can't carry the starting staff. Like,
No.
so I don't know. Maybe they'll turn it around, but I think their season's over.
Central's got to be the most like mediocre division there is.
Yeah,
Just like not
I
even terrible. Just like everyone's just kind of like meh. I don't know.
they are. And like, I think the Brewers are probably a legitimate playoff contender right now
Yeah.
against other teams just because of their starting pitching. But like, let's say the Reds keep it up and snag the division somehow. Like, they're not just going to get like run over. Like, I think they have enough pitching to be like solid in October. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, though. I mean, they need Flaherty back. He's obviously one of the best pitchers in the league, so that's a big blow for them.
When's he coming back? Like
Yeah, I'm not sure.
August?
I think sometime in August, maybe even later though. I don't
Huh.
really remember. I know he got hurt about a month ago. So I mean, but if I don't know what rehab is going to happen, like I don't know if he's going to be back.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know, man. it's kind of tough in St. Louis right now.
Yeah. All right. So just a couple of weeks before trade deadline, who, if you look at the American League, what moves would you want to see?
Man, I just Yanks got to do something. I hate to focus on them so much because I don't want to sound biased, but like it's either you make a move now or you're done. So I mean, look,
Pressure's on Brian Cashman.
he said he's been trying. We did just acquire Tim LaCastro last week to be an outfielder who I'm happy for him. Like he was a Yankee fan growing up. It's cool to see him be able to play with the Yankees. I saw him in an interview. He's also
Yeah.
the fastest player in the league, fastest sprint speed. So like I guess that
Mhm.
helps, but it's not the answer.
No.
So I think the Yankees have to go all in here and acquire Miguel Rojas and Starling Marte from the Marlins. So look, it's well documented that Gleyber Torres has been horrible. It's just not working. He's in 238, 3 homers, 26 RBIs, 635 OPS. So obviously, if you make this deal, Miguel Rojas plugs in at shortstop. So whether the answer is benching Torres or sending him to AAA, you got to do something because you just can't let this keep going on.
No.
And like, I want him to figure it out on his own so badly, but like, I don't know if it's going to
You don't
happen.
have time.
So we don't have time. And like, as far as center field, I mean, Brett Gardner's the starting center fielder right now. He's 37 years old. He's more of a bench player, clubhouse presence. Like right now, he's not supposed to be playing every day.
Should not be starting. No.
I mean, dude, right now he's hitting 197, 3 homers, 11 RBIs, and a 628 OPS. So, I mean, look, the Yankees are on thin ice right now. And if they don't make a move soon, they're not going to be playing in October. And I don't think firing Aaron Boone is the answer. I really don't. Because I don't think that would change much, in my opinion. So,
agreed.
Look, I mean, so far this year, Miggy Rojas is hitting 251 with 4 homers, 23 RBIs, and a 710 OPS. And over his 162 career average, 264, 6 homers, 45 RBIs, and a 681 OPS. Like, look, they're not like eye-popping numbers. They're not like Trevor Story, Javi Baez, Lindor numbers. But like, right now, that's better than Torres. So. I think it would just be more about changing the team dynamic and attitude too. Like Rojas in Miami is known as like the unofficial captain over there. He's the leader on that team, and he's praised by Don Mattingly and Derek Jeter on his work ethic and veteran presence all the time. So I think that could really be something that could change our team. Something interesting too is that he kind of came up with Giancarlo Stanton. So like they're very close friends. That could also help the team dynamic, in my opinion. If the Yankees decided to keep Torres with the big league club, if they made this deal, Miggy Rojas and Gleyber Torres are both from Venezuela, so that could also be like a guy to help him out, maybe.
It's interesting.
I just think it would be the perfect move because Rojas can play other infield positions too. He's played every other infield position over his career. So let's say Torres figures it out, Rojas could just be like the platoon guy everywhere. He's got a team option for next year. I think he's a free agent after that season, so obviously we wouldn't have to keep him. But if we wanted to, he would be a great veteran presence, and so that would be interesting. For Marte, this year he's hitting 291, 6 homers, 18 RBIs, 848 OPS. He's got 14 stolen bases. He's the best center fielder out there for a trade. Over his career, he's hit 287. He averages 18 homers, 71 RBIs, and a 794 OPS. His 162 career average is 40 stolen bases in a season. So that's something we do not have. The Yankees suck at base running. We're horrible. We get thrown out the most going for extra bases on like a double going into third for a triple, trying for that. We get thrown out the most doing that. And Marte's a great defender. He's won a Gold Glove in 15 and 16. He was an All-Star back in 16 with Pittsburgh too. And he's a free agent after the year. So the Marlins are 9 games out right now. It looks like they're probably going to be selling.
Yeah.
But something interesting that I did see today was that the Marlins might be trying to extend Marte for the next 4 or 5 years. If they don't trade him at this deadline, they're going to try to extend him. So I think Brian Cashman's really got to fucking pull the trigger on this because we need it. And if we don't do it, we're not making the playoffs. Plain and simple. I think,
yeah, I agree. I think Marte would be a great fit. Because I don't know. I feel like you guys, you're right. Like they're not great base running. They're not like the most athletic team. So I feel like to have like a spark plug like Marte in center field. Obviously, yeah, Gardner can't start.
And like
I
I love it's great that we re-signed him because of his veteran presence and stuff. But like he can't start. Man.
no.
Like I don't even think he wants to necessarily.
Yeah,
I
and
think
I agree. I
yeah,
don't think firing Boone does nothing. The players have sucked. Like I don't know
yeah,
how that's Boone's fault. Like you can maybe blame Cashman a little bit for like constructing the team, but
right.
firing Boone does nothing for me. That's like such like a
No.
casual take. I feel like.
It is like I think firing managers doesn't usually do much unless like you hire a guy that's a complete opposite. But they're not going to do that because the reason they have Boone is because he agrees with the front office. So
Yeah,
hiring the opposite of that would be someone who doesn't listen to anything Cashman or the analytics say, and that's not the way the game goes today. So
yeah,
um, I just think that this would make too much sense to not do. And if he doesn't do something similar to this or this exact trade, I mean, gonna we're just not gonna make the playoffs. That's
no,
not gonna happen. And like, I don't even know if that would mean if he doesn't fucking pull a trigger on a trade like this, do we start trading some guys? Like, I mean, I don't see the Yankees fucking selling, but like, I mean, do you try to trade Torres and get something? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but like, do you trade Torres? Do you trade like Clint Frazier? I mean, I don't know, but I don't want to know. I want to
if
make a
you
trade and still go for it. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, if you think you maybe can get something for him, but yeah, man,
I don't know.
George Steinbrenner's rolling over in his grave right now.
Yeah.
He would be freaking out if he was
Dude,
still up.
he would have fired so many people by now. Like he would not deal with this. So
No.
I'm hoping that within the next month, Marte and Rojas are the pinstripes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about National League?
Okay, so National League, you may not like this trade because it's a team in your division getting better, but I got the Phillies acquiring Adam Frazier and Richard Rodriguez from Pittsburgh. So we talked about Frazier before, starting second baseman for the NL All-Star team this year. But in the case of this trade, Frazier would become the everyday center fielder. In his career, he's played
Mm,
156 games in the outfield, and he would fit great in Philly because it's well documented too that the Phillies do not have great center field options. They haven't for a while now. Right now, their top guy is Odubel Herrera. He's hitting 243 with 5 homers, 22 RBIs, and a 681 OPS. It's not horrible, but like for a team that wants to make the playoffs, you kind of need a better center fielder, just like the Yankees do. So I think Frazier would be great in the outfield over there. And like, listen, Frazier's numbers, all-star numbers, obviously, he's hitting 324, 4 homers, 28 RBIs, and 855 OPS. So that is like that OPS is 200 points higher than Herrera's. So that's a big, big fix over there. Um, Frazier's a free agent after 2022, so he could also be there next year as a
okay.
center fielder if he does good this year. Obviously, that would mean you're going to have to trade more prospects or something, whatever the case may be. But Pittsburgh isn't trying to win, so I think obviously they're going to have to stare themselves in the face and be like, do we want to extend Frazier for the next time we can win, or do we want to trade and keep building?
Yeah.
Um, and as far as Richard Rodriguez, he's their closer out there in Pittsburgh for anyone who isn't familiar with that. So this has to really do with Hector Neris, the Phillies' current closer, having a horrible season. He's got a 5.17 ERA. Currently, he has
Bad.
five losses on the year so far, and it's only like halfway through.
Yeah, we've
Um,
beat him up a little bit.
you have, and Rodriguez has been the opposite. He currently has a 2.51 ERA with 11 saves and a 3-1 record. Um, over his career, he's played about 5 seasons now. He's got a 3.26 ERA, 9.9 strikeouts per nine, and he's a free agent after 2023. So they could have him for the next couple of years. Um, I think it just makes sense to get a center fielder. They need one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was curious. I looked up Frazier before this season. His career average was about 270, and now he's been 324. So that sounds unsustainable to me. I'm not.
Yeah,
He still could be a solid center fielder for them, but I think he's playing a little over his head.
it's possible. I mean, I think the interesting part with him is that like he only has 4 homers right now, but his
Yeah.
OPS is 855. So he gets on base. That's the thing. Like he takes his walks.
Hmm.
gets on base. He's the leadoff hitter over there too.
It's a lot
And
of doubles.
guess who's been mostly the leadoff hitter for the Phillies? Odubel Herrera, who hits 243 with a
That's not
681
good.
OPS.
Yeah.
That's not really a leadoff guy. Frazier really would be. Let's say he even hits 270, 280 the rest of the way with him. His
Still a lot
OPS,
better.
if his OPS is above 800, it's still better. So like I think it would make sense. And they just need bullpen, man. Like it's brutal to watch their bullpen after like the way it was last season too. It's just tough, man.
Bad.
I'm not a Phillies fan, but it's fucking difficult to watch. So I think Rodriguez would fit pretty well over there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been frustrating for guys like Wheeler, like
Yeah,
what's his name, Nola.
Nola, Eflin. I mean, yeah, it's had to have been tough. So we'll see if they pull the trigger on something like this. They are currently in fourth in your division, but like we know your division is like a mosh pit.
Yeah,
So like
they could make a run. I don't think they're my
yeah,
first pick to do it, but
yeah,
it's definitely doable.
yeah. I mean, they got the starting pitching. That's the thing with them. So
Yeah,
if they can kind of fix the bullpen and get a solid guy up the middle and center field, I think they've been the obvious question marks in Philly for the past few seasons. I mean, you got to do something about it. So
no,
we'll
absolutely.
see what happens with that.
All right, get into best pitching of the week. German Marquez was 2 outs away from a no-hitter. This was June 29th against Pittsburgh. Gets broken up. He finishes with a complete game, 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs. But he's been hot. He's legit, man. Especially pitching in Coors Field.
Oh yeah. I mean, just so everyone knows, this was in Coors Field. So like,
yeah,
this was pretty close to fucking no hitter. Of course, well, it was no hitter. Yeah. He's the lone Rockies All-Star, and the game's in Denver, so he should get a pretty big ovation too whenever he comes out there, which would be cool to see.
true.
Yeah, he's been solid. I mean, he's been great for the past few years, man. I think obviously everyone always talks about John Gray or Kyle Freeland, who have been good there too, but like Marquez has obviously been the guy there. So that'll be interesting. I'm not sure his contract details either, but like they could
Yeah,
trade him at some point. I don't
I
know
was just
though.
thinking that too.
Yeah,
That's a shame. All these teams, like,
I
they have
know.
these great players. All we're ever thinking about is like, can they just get
Yeah,
traded to a contender? But yeah,
I
I mean,
know.
it's kind of reality. I mean,
Yeah,
Colorado's going nowhere. So,
yeah,
I mean, a couple days later, Jacob deGrom gets off to a rough start. He gives up about 3 runs, I think in the first inning or the second.
yeah.
But he went on to retire basically everyone else after. Finishes with 7 innings, 3 runs, no walks, 14 Ks. He was dealing at the end. He goes again today, but
Yeah.
he looked mortal for a second.
Yeah, he looked human, and he still had struck out 14. So do you really care about the 3 earned runs? I don't. So
No, we should be able to cover
yeah,
that any day.
yeah,
And then a couple others, Chris Bassett against Texas, 7 innings, no runs, only 4 base runners, 7 Ks. Corbin Burns went a few days ago, 7 1/3, 1 earned. Again, that great Milwaukee rotation that's had them on an 11-game win streak.
yeah.
They're killing
Yeah,
it.
they are. And the Cubs are in like the opposite direction. So that's kind of interesting.
No, it's really flipped in the Central.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Zach Wheeler against the Pods went 7 2/3, no earned, 9 Ks, only 4 base runners. So, I mean, we mentioned a little bit last week. I feel like he's on the segment every week now. But
Yeah, he really is. That's an interesting one though, because it was against the Padres, who are like obviously a good team. So
true.
it's not like he's just crushing against like bad teams. Like that was pretty rare to see a pitcher do that against San Diego. So
Yeah.
that was interesting.
Which means I think Gossman yesterday
Yeah,
too took a no hitter into the 7th or the 8th. He ended up
yeah, I
losing the
think
games,
so.
but
Yeah. He's like, I mean, if it wasn't for DeGrom, I think Gossman might be the front runner for the Cy Young. So
yeah,
he's been solid.
it's been a stacked NL Cy Young race.
Yeah, no, for sure. Notice how too we don't ever see many Yankees starting pitchers on here. We started out
No,
great. I don't think we've seen one on here since Corey Kluber's no hitter. So
it's been it's
yeah,
true. Because I
yeah,
remember we had that stat where it was like
yeah,
everyone in the rotation went at least 5 innings, you give up no runs. Because I remember that was the stat of the week 1 week, and then ever
yeah.
since.
That's no longer the case. So yeah,
Damn. All right. So for injury updates, Kyle Schwarber, right after his torrid run, went on the IL with the right hamstring strain. I don't believe in jinxes, but if you want to say we jinxed him, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully not, but
I feel like that's always how it happens. You're red
I
hot, and
know.
then you never get injured
Yeah,
or something.
and he's having like his best year ever too. And he was an all-star obviously for the first time. So hopefully he gets back soon because the Nats kind of need him.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Lots of Mets updates because, of course, why wouldn't there be? David Peterson going to the IL with the right oblique. So that rotation's looking thin.
Yeah.
But a few updates on Carrasco and Syndergaard. So Carlos Carrasco should be back end of July. Syndergaard should return by September 1st. I mean, not ideal, but
I mean it's nice update. Hopefully that actually happens. Because
no, you gotta hope so.
you can always see something else happening where they don't come back that soon. So hopefully not.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a big part of the Lindor trade, like we've talked about. So
Oh
they kind of
yeah.
need him out there, man. He's a big part of that rotation, even though he hasn't thrown an inning yet.
I mean, that's kind of been
Um,
his career. I feel like he's
yeah,
always had great stuff, but just for various reasons can't stay on the
yeah,
field. But
yeah,
see if he gives him anything this
yeah,
year as like a fourth starter at this point. But
yeah,
and then same probably another huge star in that division. Sixto
yeah,
Sanchez is out for the year after having shoulder surgery. Should be ready by spring training 2022. I mean, it's not a
yeah.
guarantee though. I feel like shoulder
Um,
injuries are always unpredictable.
yeah, this one's like interesting too. I think it kind of makes the Marlins even more trade contenders to sell
Yeah.
because they were going to have Sixto come up at some point soon. He was in AAA right now rehabbing because he had another injury earlier in the season, and like he was probably going to come back around after the All-Star break and join the rotation in the big leagues,
Mm-hmm.
and now that's obviously not going to happen. So yeah, I mean, hopefully he's back by spring training because we saw him last year in the shortened season and the playoffs. Man, he's electric. He's like a lot of fun to watch out there. So
Absolutely.
yeah, hopefully he'll be back by then.
Yeah. And then a couple others, Mitch Garver should be back for the Twins after the All-Star break after rehabbing from groin surgery. And then Lorenzo Cain is beginning a rehab assignment Wednesday after his right hamstring strain. So
Yeah, I think Kane. Obviously, the Brewers are kind of going off right now. Getting Kane back will only help. So
yeah.
that's going to be even more important for them. With Garver, potential trade if he comes back, plays good for a week. I don't know. I don't think the Twins are obviously done this year, so
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. I don't know his
Yeah.
contract, so
No,
yeah,
same.
yeah.
And then what series would you say you're looking forward to this week?
Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Cincinnati and Milwaukee. They're playing at Miller Park or what's it called now? All American Field or something. I know they changed the name. They're
Yeah.
playing in Milwaukee though, so
Okay.
in Milwaukee. 4 game set Thursday through Sunday. So that's really going to tell us what the Reds are made of here.
True.
On the road, 4 games against the first place team in your division who's won 11 straight at this point.
Yeah.
So let's say the Reds even split it somehow, then you kind of look at them seriously. I think
That's pretty.
if
Yeah, I'd
they
take that.
if they go 1-3 or if they get swept, maybe not. So I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting series though because they're the top 2 teams in that division as of now. The Cubs could change it around possibly and be ahead of them by the time the series starts, but I don't see that happening. So yeah, that's what I got.
I'm kind of rooting for Cincinnati there. I want this to be an interesting race. I feel like
Yeah,
if Milwaukee is just to sweep it, then they're really established. But
yeah. If they do that, Milwaukee is going to run away with the division. There would be no way they lose. So
yeah,
yeah. What do you got?
see if Cincinnati can pull it off. I got Yankees at Houston Friday through Sunday. I mean, yeah, obviously the history with those two. They've met before. This isn't like the first time they met this
Yeah,
season,
yeah,
but I mean, yeah, this is one of the Yankees' last shots. I feel like right before the All-Star break, get a little good mojo before heading to Colorado. But
yeah. I
I don't
mean,
know,
yeah,
man.
I agree. I mean, we play 3 in Seattle starting today. Then we go to Houston. So if we could kind of get something going these next 3 days, get hot before Houston. If we like lose 2 out of 3 to Seattle or something, we're getting swept by the Astros. I guarantee you that. So
Yeah.
Obviously, the guys are going to have higher adrenaline because they don't like the Astros.
Hmm.
And it's our first time playing at Minute Maid Park since everything happened. They played in the Bronx earlier
Right.
this season. This is the first time that we're going there. See how many Yankee fans are in the stands there booing them. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of guys traveling over there or not, but
Mm.
it'll be an interesting series no matter what. Like, even if the Yankees get swept, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're going to. I think Cole is set to pitch one of those days too.
I was
So it's
gonna
going to be,
say it's cool. Yeah.
I think he's pitching Friday or Saturday. So I think it's
Okay.
going to be his first time back there too, pitching since he was an Astro in the World
Wow.
Series. So yeah, that's interesting too. Um, and like we talked about Chapman's struggles, obviously the last pitch that Chapman threw there, we all know what happened with that. We all know the speculations with Altuve's home run.
Hmm.
So if he gets to face Altuve there, that'll be an interesting at bat too. I think.
You think
So
he'll pitch the ninth like anytime this week?
I mean, I think he has to. Like, if we got a save situation, we got to put him out there. I think, unless he's hurt, which I've heard he kind of has something wrong with one of his fingers right now, and he's pitching through it.
Huh.
That's no excuse because like it's either you put him on the IL or don't pitch him, Boone. Like or you got to expect
Yeah.
him to perform. Like whatever the case is. But yeah, I mean, like as bad as he's been too, like he can't afford to let up a lead in Houston, and if we, God forbid, we fucking lose a game because of that, that'll be horrible.
Risky.
So yeah. Anyway, though, it'll be a good series. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. Right before
Yeah.
the All-Star break, then we'll kind of get a breather from the everyday stuff, and guys will get to have fun at the All-Star game and stuff like that. So it should be an interesting next week of games, though. Before that,
Yeah. And then wrapping up with stat of the week. So sticking with the Yanks for a bit. So well documented, they've had 3 triple plays this year. I mean, just ridiculous. You don't have that in like 10 years sometimes. But
yeah,
the other thing too, Chad Green the other night and the nightcap against the Mets, there was an immaculate inning. I think he threw like 3 perfect innings, and that's how he kept it off. But that is the second immaculate inning they've had this year. I don't
yeah,
know. I feel like that's obviously more common than triple play, but still to have
yeah. I
2 of
mean, like,
those in like what, 4 months? 3?
yeah, three, pretty much three and a
Yeah,
half
3.
by now. Yeah, it's like crazy. Like I don't know. We have not been playing the best, and we still have all these weird stats. So
They've had a no
um,
hitter. I mean,
yeah, if anything, that's the positives of our season. I mean, I'll take something, but like,
a few wacky plays, a few wacky games. Yeah, no, that's about right.
yeah, I mean, the fact that Green did it though against like you guys, I think he did it against Dom and like the core of your order too. That was pretty interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool, but
I wonder if he should close.
I know. I mean, like again, Chapman's an all-star and he's been good before the past week or so.
Right.
But like, I think if something's up with Chapman's finger, if that's what actually it is, Boone, maybe just like let Chapman rest a little bit the next few days and put Green in there. I mean, Green's been good. Johnny Loizaga has also been a very good pitcher for us this year. He's kind of broken out of his shell in the bullpen. We got options like Darren O'Day is there. Obviously,
Yeah.
Zach Britton got hurt, but we got options still. And if Chapman ain't 100%, man, we can't afford to lose any more games. So you got to put our best option out there. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that does it for us. Enjoy the All-Star game. Enjoy
yeah.
the Derby. And take it easy.
Hopefully we get a good show in the Derby, man. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
I think
So
it'll be a good
yeah,
one. And
yeah.
in the altitude, yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right,
All right.
peace.
See you guys next week.